season of quotes from quarantine. I hope it's the only season, and we could still get quotes, but hopefully they won't be from quarantine. And I'm thrilled to have Pamela Madsen here today, who was one of the first people in this space that I met many, many years ago. And the focus of the conversation is really about the fact that the people who are in this space, I already describe as warriors. You're fighting against societal pressure, you're trying to get funding, you're facing all the challenges of building any kind of business, and then you add the fact that there's this total overwhelming societal discomfort with female sexuality in all its beauty and complexity. So I thought, who better to ask how you're coping in this crazy environment, and you are actually coping from one of the most beautiful places on the planet. So I'm going to let you tell everybody where you are. So I'd love to hear, building a business is hard. You and I have spoken since the very beginning of your business, and you've been building it and building it and building it and having lots of successes. And I'm sure that also comes with setbacks that you then overcome. But in this environment, in this coronavirus world that we're in, how are you staying connected with your people, with your team, with the women who you engage with at the retreats? And talk a little bit about what it is that you do.
Sure. So yes, I'm in Maui because we just completed an incredible retreat that started while the coronavirus was bubbling, but it wasn't like here the way it is now with this lockdown. We completed our retreat. It was beautiful, and the women went home.
Telling people what you do on your retreats.
Oh, okay. So I run somatically informed retreats for women. What does that mean? That means that the retreats are basically all around supporting women of all ages, shapes, and sizes to come back to their body through touch, conversation, sisterhood, and workshops. Women are offered 5 voluntary sessions on the table with sexological body workers or somatic sex educators, which are full body touch or as much touch as they want. That's included in the cost of the retreat, and that is a voluntary service. And we've been doing retreats. We're celebrating our 10th year next year.
That's hard to believe. Congratulations.
Our 10th year. We do 10 normally. We do 10 retreats a year. They're sold out. They're consistently sold out. We have a 95% return rate. Most women do 5 retreats, often within 1 year.
Over what period of time? Within 1 year?
Often within 1 year, sometimes over 2 years. And the average cost, oh my God, I touched my face. Okay, everyone forgive me. You won't catch anything by me touching my face.
Not on Zoom.
Not on Zoom. The retreats range in price from $4,500 to $15,000 a retreat, depending on what they're doing. Is it an 8-woman mastery, or is it a 20-woman retreat in Maui? So they range in price and in service. We are a somatic in-person experience. That's what I do. I run retreats in exotic locations for women to come back to their body. Oh my God, we all have to stay at home now. What do you do?
So that's a great question. What do you do? The model of your business is based on being together in one place, physically close, if not touching and connected. What do you do? Some things sound like they're harder to translate virtually.
Well, first you cry, Rachel.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, that's really honest, is first you cry. This was supposed to be our biggest year. Launch of our new website, bringing on all these new PR and social media people. We were going into our biggest year, breaking through our glass ceiling, and brought on all new hires and stop.
Literally stop that in your
literally, we put out a notice first saying that we were going to stay in with no promise. And so what that meant was that we were going to keep our retreats running with no promise. That if something happened, that we had to reschedule something because of laws and state mandates, that we would do that. We have a lot of confidence in our ability to keep things clean and safe because that's our business, is to keep things clean and safe. No one at our retreat in Hawaii got sick, thank you God, not even a staff member, because we got so hypervigilant about everything. But how are we staying connected? Well, I'm here in Maui right now with 3 staff members. And we were staying here to keep quarantined for our Vegas retreat that we just canceled yesterday. We just pulled the plug, and women are crying. They wanted to go. They feel
So in
isolated.
this environment, regardless of where they were coming from, which I imagine is around the country, women were still going to get on a plane to
Yes,
come and have this experience.
they
That's
were still going to come. They were like,
people aren't even going to the supermarket, but
right, they were coming.
that.
They were coming. Because we've made changes. They don't go to a hotel anymore. They come straight to the venue. So they don't have, so we made changes that would no more excursions for now, doing everything in the enclosed container, having my staff all tested. So we made changes, but that's not the question. The question really is, what are we doing to keep engaged with our community? Well, we're doing a bunch of new things. We're offering free weekly support groups to women who attend our retreat or who are scheduled to attend our retreat. We've increased our online programming. So last night there was a webinar. The day before that, I did my first ever live stream touch webinar for people, Play Shop. There'll be another one tomorrow. I'm doing that with Court Vox of the Body Vox. And we're keeping our clothes.
Do you charge for those webinars? Is that part of your...
Right now, these are free. This is just keeping engaged with our community,
okay.
which is very important. Like, we're here for you, even if you're not putting money in our pockets. We're here for you. And so Giggles, Wiggles, Moans and Groans, which was day before yesterday, it was such a hit. We had 250 people signed up for it. We got love letters afterwards. We kept our clothes on. It was all about like finding household things to do Sensei Touch, and how do we play with fantasy. It was fun. They loved it. They said,
say the name of the event again. Giggles, Wiggles.
Giggles, Wiggles, Moans and Groans, how to play at home with someone that you love. Right. And so we're doing a part 2 because they loved it so much. And we're doing that day after tomorrow. And Court and I, and we're in quarantine here, so we might as well, and we're better than Netflix. We were told we were better than Netflix. Okay? So we're doing it again. The next thing that we're doing to drive income.
By the way, that is high praise, better than Netflix.
Right? Let me tell you. But watch again, favorites, it gets old. How many times can you scroll? So what we're doing for income, which is very important, because we don't want everything I built over 10 years to collapse. And my business is built on women attend a retreat. They sign up, our conversion rate is very high. So then they sign up for another retreat. At that retreat, more income comes in, right? We go to another retreat. And then we have portals, 6 a year, 3-day portals, where women come into a beginner program of Back to the Body for very little money. The conversion rate from a portal to a retreat is over 80%. We have insane conversion rates. So I've had to cancel 2 portals. I have lost, just so we're clear, in this period of time, I've lost about $400,000 in venue space, $22,000 venues, where I don't get my money back because they don't have to. The income, the gross income from those events, it's extraordinary. And I have had to make some changes, and we're breathing through this. What's happening is my staff is leaning in with me. And they're like, Pamela, we will do what we need to do.
And that's fascinating. And obviously you engender a lot of loyalty, but without the income coming in, the first question I have is, can you keep the staff that you have? At what price? What are some of the really fundamental blocking and tackling moves you're making to sustain you financially during this period?
Well, we're doing all the things. First of all, we're trying to reduce the burn.
Mm-hmm.
So what I mean by that, for people who don't know that language, is what I have to pay every month
Right.
to keep people. I have
I
figured
use the
out.
expression, what is required every month to keep the lights on?
Yeah. So what is required? What do we need to cut? One staff member had to go on halftime. My new hires, my new PR girls, my new Instagram peeps that I just brought on,
Magicians.
I had to let go of the magicians. I've had to let go of some of those things. Um, what I'm also doing is we're starting a new program today, Rachel, and the new program um, is like a 3 incentive point. I'm offering my mentorship. I used to do mentorship for $6,000 a year, and I got exhausted from it, and I went on to other things. And that brought in for me somewhere between 60 and 100,000 a year. My mentorship program, which just really involved my time and
Right.
sitting in front of a computer and giving a woman my heart and holding her heart. What we're doing now is we're restarting the program for $500 a month, much less money. They not only get me for 1 hour, they're going to get access to a practitioner. So normally they don't get access to our practitioners outside of retreat space.
So here's
So,
what's striking to me about this. And
sure.
I'm having, all kinds of conversations, and I've been in this space a long time, and I'm totally enamored, impressed, and inspired by the people in this space. So you just shared, some daunting numbers. You're losing $400,000 direct out of pockets that you can't recover. And yet you have, if not a smile on your face, a sense of calm. And I think that's pretty extraordinary because many of the people I'm speaking to are experiencing this in every fiber of their body. So what are you doing that enables you to say in one sentence, I'm losing $400,000 and lowering my burn, and you're not defeated at all. In fact, quite the opposite. You're creatively coming up with new scenarios, new business models, new ways to do that. Is that how you are put together? And I know some of these answers because I know you well, but can you teach someone to do that?
I think you can. I think, yes, we some of us have a resiliency that is just inside of us. And you've got to be willing to pivot and, be a dancer in your financial life. And I do feel sad, Rachel. I've cried. I've sobbed with my team and like, not fair now. This is glass ceiling year.
Right.
Not
We were
like
on an upswing.
we were like breaking through. I was going to give stock to my people this year. This was a huge year for Back to the Body. And guess what? Still a huge year because just the goal has changed. And the change is we will make it through this time and then we'll have our glass ceiling.
And you're in Maui.
And I'm in Maui until I go back to New York. And I don't believe that female sexuality and female empowerment is not an essential service.
So that was the next question I was going to ask you. So obviously we don't know what's going to shake out, who's going to be left with jobs, who's going to have, extra income. So my next question was, are you concerned that when people are figuring out how to get their footing and changing their personal burn and figuring out if they have jobs, and if they do have jobs, how much they're being paid to do those jobs, how do you ensure, or what have you learned over the past 10 years to suggest that this will not go by the wayside? This will not be the thing they'll cut. They'll cut maybe a vacation with their family, or they'll cut some other extraneous item, but understanding how to enjoy what you're teaching them how to enjoy, that how do you have confidence that that's not going to get cut?
I have confidence in the women who have been to my retreats. Okay, so the people who are already in, they're saying, I don't want my money back. Put me in the next one, Pamela.
Wow.
Like, we're in with you.
So even though they know, for instance, the women who are coming to Vegas, they have no idea when that's going to be rescheduled, but you still have their money in the proverbial bank, so to speak.
For most of the women, yes. And
that's incredible. That's a big tribute to you.
And we also have, I've been doing this a long enough time to confront women with obstacles. So we now have, do you take out travel insurance? Check the box. When they sign up for retreats, they do financial agreements with us. We have their credit card. So it's all very structured about how we take money. If women have taken travel insurance, they could get their whole retreat, their hotel, and their plane paid for.
Right.
So remember, in the construct that I'm working in, now it's the virus. Yes, it's more severe, but the other one could be my mother needs care or something else
So there's
happens.
always things that are conflicting, and they're still coming and showing up and coming
And
back.
we have financial agreements with people and tell them to take travel insurance. And if they don't, we get to say the hard line, which is, did you take travel insurance the way we recommended that you take travel insurance? What we're doing for the women is normally, if they want to move to another retreat, they lose their deposit and they pay $1,000 transfer fee. We're removing that right now. And we're telling them they can come at any time for the rest of their life to
One
a
of the things
missed
that is
retreat.
so remarkable about you that I feel every time I speak to you, you're so open, you're so direct, there's no BS. You wouldn't even know where to put BS if you found it. And it's just it's an amazing quality, because you, probably more than many of the people that I speak with, you go into the dollars and cents and the implications and what it's costing you and what it's going to cost them. And I think that takes a lot of confidence. It takes an attitude of transparency, which lots of people talk about but don't necessarily deliver on. And
Well,
I'm sure
thank
that
you.
that openness and transparency is one of the many reasons that you have these crazy, loyal, high value customers coming back.
So
All
thank
the time.
you. It's a beautiful thing. And what I want to tell other sex educators that are out there is believe in yourself, stay connected to your base, give them free right now, and then develop a new program. Like we've developed this little mentorship program, and find the candy in the mentorship, whatever it is you're doing. What is the thing that you've held back from them? At Back to the Body, we've held back contact with our practitioners outside of retreat space. So what am I doing? I'm giving them something special, which is, I know you can't come to the retreats, but you want to contact perhaps with your practitioner. You get 1 hour a month. Buy the mentorship program. It's $500 a month. That will keep me able to keep payroll, give them candy, give them the connection that they need, while I'm also giving them free stuff. And we're using that as an incentive, Rachel. So if you will register right now, Rachel, right now for Santa Fe in September, when all this is done, I'm going to give you 3 months of that mentorship program.
Got it.
And you can stay connected now.
Okay,
And
now
so
I have it on. Now I have it on video. So
now you have it
it's a
on
deal.
video.
Well, thank you so much. I love your energy and your optimism, which is amazing and great for you. And I know from, again, having watched you and known you for a long time during this journey, that optimism and belief in what you're doing has propelled so much of your success. So
Well, thank you.
enjoy Maui.
Thank you.
To the
They
extent
took
that
away
you
the,
can. Enjoy
they took away
quarantine.
the pool.
Okay, listen,
But, hey,
you could still look at the ocean.
we can still look at the ocean and the whales. Thank you, Rachel, for being an inspiration to all of the female entrepreneurs in the sex positive space. We don't have a lot of champions. And thank you for being mine.
Oh, thank you so much. And go get them.